I think it's safe to say that most of us believe at this point in time, based off of what we're reading, based off of the vibe that we're getting, that Brock Lesnar is going to leave the WWE in 2015 after WrestleMania 31. I don't think at this moment there is a whole lot of doubt about that. You hear the rumors about Bellator pursuing Brock, UFC pursuing Brock. You also hear the rumors about the WWE questioning, is it really worth the investment they put into Brock Lesnar, paying him several $1 million every year to work a limited number of dates, and all the while questioning what type of financial return they're really getting for all of that investment. I mean, I think most of us can safely assume at this point in time that Brock's gone after WrestleMania. Again, it'll be the first time that happens. Now, granted, I think the circumstances and situation here is much different than when he did it in 2004, but prepare yourself. It probably is going to happen. The ultimate question, though, is will the WWE miss Brock Lesnar at a time where this company desperately lacks in big names and big stars? Brock Lesnar is one of those few guys that can fit the bill. This is a guy with a legit background in the amateur wrestling world, the professional fighting world, the professional wrestling world. He's one of those rare type of talents. He also has that big monster physique that we know the WWE loves, and frankly, let's be honest, the WWE lacks those type of guys. You need variety. You need all different types of wrestlers, shapes and sizes, and Brock Lesnar fits that bill of being that more traditional heavyweight type of champion. You also look at Brock Lesnar and you see a guy that comes from the past and when we might feel our better days during that ruthless aggression era. And as a result, he brings in some of the older fans that largely have tuned out the current product. So there are some positives to potentially having Brock Lesnar in the fold. Also factoring in that he doesn't feel like everybody else. When Brock Lesnar does appear, it does feel sometimes like something special. It does feel to a certain degree like it's a big attraction. And as a result, he stands out. And in an era, again, where so many guys feel exactly the same and are packaged and presented exactly the same, here is Brock Lesnar, and he definitely doesn't feel the same. But the simple answer to me is, will the WWE miss Brock Lesnar? The answer is no. It's kind of one of these things. I won't really shit on the WWE for bringing back Brock Lesnar. It's kind of one of those full circle things. It was one of those things you had to do. After WrestleMania 28, you were going to need something to carry you after Cena versus Rock. You needed something to get you going for the rest of 2012 and beyond. There's also that thought of bringing somebody like him in from the UFC world, from your past, to be that type of special attraction type of guy that you were really lacking. It was an experiment worth doing. And at the time when they initiated that, they were still under the old pay-per-view business model where it was a little more tangible, where you could measure a guy's impact on the bottom line in terms of pay-per-view buys when he appeared versus when he didn't. But even when he did appear or even when he didn't, was there really that much of a difference in the WWE's overall bottom line and the returns when it came to the traditional pay-per-views? I don't think so. And now that they've gone to this WWE network model, I think it is increasingly difficult to justify the large expense for a Brock Lesnar for the limited amount of dates and the limited amount of return, frankly, that they get from him. And then when you also look at this too, I mean, what has Brock Lesnar really done? You brought in Brock Lesnar, and over the course of the past 2+ years, almost 3 years now, he's worked a program with Cena, he's worked a long program with Triple H, he's worked a program with CM Punk, he's worked a program with The Big Show, he's worked a program with The Undertaker, and he's back to working a program still with John fucking Cena. 5 different people. All of these established big stars of different varying levels. Not a single one of them really, frankly, needing the rub from working with a Brock Lesnar. Part of the thing to me of bringing in a guy like this would be to help elevate the current roster. It would be to help out the current roster and bring some guys up from this level up to that next level, to a level like a Brock Lesnar already is. And when you have him working in programs with people like Cena and Triple H, and yes, CM Punk, and obviously Undertaker, and to a lesser degree The Big Show, all older established names that have been at that level at different points in time, I just question how much return you are really getting on that investment from a product standpoint, not just from a financial monetary standpoint, but that product standpoint also factors into the financial bottom line standpoint. When you look at the WWE now in 2015, and we're talking about who Brock Lesnar will face at WrestleMania and this and that, I mean, is there anybody on the current roster in terms of non-established big name guys that you really view as a legitimate, credible threat to Brock Lesnar? I think the answer is no. And when you look at Brock Lesnar and the fact that, frankly, when they first brought him in, they completely screwed the pooch on him, and in my opinion, tried to overcompensate for their screw-ups from 2012 and 2013 by overdoing it with him in 2014, you just get a guy that I think, while the experiment was worth it and it was worth the shot, and I applaud the WWE for doing it, and I applaud Brock Lesnar for coming back and doing it now for damn near 3 years now, it just didn't really pay off. It just didn't really work. I mean, it's kind of like when you look at him as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The guy's off of TV for 3 months, and then when he comes back, it's kind of like, he's not so much of a special attraction anymore. Now he just feels like if he's any type of attraction, he's the wrong type of attraction, because now people are happy to see him when you're supposed to be pissed off at him. At the end of the day, I'm not going to crap on this company again for bringing him in. They had to do it. They had to do something. And this was one of those names that they could go out there and do this with. And the experiment was worth a valid try. The concept was worth a valid try. But when they initiated bringing Brock Lesnar back, and they initiated this concept of what they were going to do with the Brock Lesnar character in terms of his limited appearances and that special attraction type of feel, it was also a much different business for WWE under a much different business model. That business model and that path is no longer the same. It has changed dramatically. And as a result, the way that they do business as a company has to change dramatically. And as a result, you really just don't feel much of an impact, frankly, from Brock Lesnar, being there or not being there. I mean, you had the guy end the streak just so that way he could go right back to working a program with John Cena, in which several months later he's still working said program with John Cena. We're not going to miss this guy. I don't think we are. And I most certainly think the WWE isn't going to miss this guy. At this point in time, it's just kind of a square peg in a round hole. That's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it. WWE's not going to miss this guy. And I assure you, 6 months, a year down the road, you're not going to all that much either.